13, which states that countries need to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact by regulating emissions and promoting developments in renewable energy. This journey to Luangwa took us on a new discovery on how the locals are responding to climate change.
Uto yamenetipeza muno mu Luangwa district. Muno mu Luangwa district mvula siro kwa bwino. So ulimi suyenda bwino. Area ya suino ya Luangwa district.
Extreme temperatures, dry spells, and generally unpredictable weather patterns are leading this part of Zambia, Luangwa, in Lusaka province, at the brink of experiencing food, energy, and water crisis despite being located near two big water bodies, the Zambezi and Luangwa rivers. Ever heard of climate change refugees? Not many, but this part of Zambia has people that cross the Luangwa River into Mozambique, a neighboring country, for agriculture. All this because of the bad weather conditions in Luangwa emanating from climate change. Over a year ago, floods displaced over 100 of families in Luangwa during the rainy season, destroying crops cultivated by a few who braved unpredictable weather patterns. Worse off, the terrain and the temperatures that go as high as 40 degrees makes it hard for people to practice land agriculture, making livestock agriculture an alternative. It is a fact that land agriculture is the mainstay of rural areas and developing areas, making Luangwa district one of such areas. While leaders meet each year to find a lasting solution to the climate catastrophe, back home in Zambia, not much can be pointed at insofar as climate change mitigation is concerned, starting with the meager resources allocated in the national budget yearly towards climate change. According to Sustainable Development Goal number 13, which states that countries need to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact by regulating emissions and promoting developments in renewable energy. This journey to Luangwa took us on a new discovery on how the locals are responding to climate change.
Uto yamenetipeza muno mu Luangwa district. Muno mu Luangwa district mvula siro kwa bwino. So ulimi suyenda bwino. Area ya suino ya Luangwa district nionongeka. Mvula siro kwa bwino, mitengo nizochepekera, ndhaka nionongeka. So chamene tichita kuno ku Luangwa mwinango timaononga teka ndhaka chifukwa cha umphawi wamene tili nawo kuno ku Luangwa.
Concerning farming agriculture, sometimes you would find that mvula yabwera fast, then nakusira fast. Meanwhile ni chimwashanga pansi vindu. Upeza yasira fast, muyembegeza kuti vija vindu vikule, meanwhile ni yaenda mvula. Then sometimes concerning the climate change, the very climate change, you'd find that this year maybe it will start late, then again nakusiriza late, yenda mvula izachedwa kusira na kuchedwa kuyamba.
Because of issues to do with climate change in the district, they in most cases find themselves in different places where they go to look for livelihood. For example, at times they would go to nearby districts like Nimba, Petaoke, Chongwe, even Lufunsa, just to go there and do some farming, because they cannot do farming here due to human-animal conflict, at times due to floods, at times due to droughts.
Human activities are said to be responsible for climate change, such as cutting down of trees for charcoal as a livelihood, meaning that solutions should come from the source.
Mitengo timakwanisha kujua kuti tipezeko vakudya tishoka malasha, tikajua mtengo ukulu wamene tizaona ni ukulu ndio wamene tizajua kuti tichite bwanji tishoke malasha tipezeremo phindu yakuti tidye pa nyumba tiperekeko bana ku maskulu. So mwaichi tinaona kuti ise kuno ku Luangwa tiononga teka chilengedwe cha Mulungu. So apa chamene tichita pamene taona ati mvula silo kwa bwino, vamene tichita pamanje ntuma business tung'ono ukasungako mbuzi olo tunkuku tuma village chicken ukasunga nishi uzapezako ubwino wakuti uthandizikireko pa nyumba, perekereko bana ku skulu, na twinango wadwala uyende ku hospital uzagulisako kambuzi. So tunaona ulimi wosunga mbuzi na nkhuku za munzi zasu tionako bwino.
Zokolola zambiri maminda mwatu sitimakolola mostly. Uzapezeka kuti ine na mdala natitie nkoni kumalasha. Manje nayo malasha according ku training yota chita pano. Akamba kuti malasha sometimes kujua mitengo nye kwa mne kutilengesa kuti mvula tisaziona maningi. So manje malasha tizachita bwanje. Penangu napikako tukachasu nao wotaya nao wakabwera nao kuti kachasu waononga bantu. So chochita apa chochita chene pakuona kuti mapunziro yotatenga yakamba pa umoyo wa muntu na kasungido kasamalido ya muntu tifunika kuchita bwanji tilembe ma projects amene azatitandizira kusogolo. So aya ma projects amene tapunzisiwa kuno yakuti tilembe amene tikali kulemba nona azatitandizira kusogolo, otherwise umoyo weve no nkhalira movutikira.
People are not able to sustain their agricultural livelihood, so that forces them into charcoal production. So that is a major challenge in Luangwa, charcoal production. And people are not ashamed of it. They know it's illegal. They say, look, we have no other livelihood. So for charcoal, so for us as a project, so our project is basically we're talking about enhancing resilience, climate resilience, in order to protect the forests, the indigenous forests. So that's why we come in. People are aware that it's not right for them to cut down trees. Trees contribute to issues of climate change. But then it's the issues of alternative livelihoods, which people try to look at.
In Luangwa, we've had a problem of, the rainfall pattern. It is something that is really a concern because of this issue of, cutting trees anyhow. Really, this has affected us. And if you look at Luangwa, we cannot boast of, of farming like farming of, maize and some other plants. It's because of the way the rain falls. It's something that you cannot depend on really because of this issue of tree cutting, careless tree cutting anyway. Because so often I've seen nearly every day there's 2-3 trucks carrying charcoal from here to Lusaka or Chongwe and some other places. Yeah.
Young climate change activists have also taken up the challenge of climate change with hopes of amplifying the voices.
Instead of fighting the issue of climate change, they're going to these other things, which is bad. So me as a young person, how I am fighting this is through educating other young people, other people in society, the women, men, children, on how we can all be a part of it through small steps. Okay, through small steps such as planting trees, having vegetation on our homes, how to utilize our water resources, not leaving the water running when you're brushing your teeth. It's in small steps as those. So firstly, I do advocacy as a young person, so teach more young people to take this on and to encourage more young people to be part of the conversation in how we can come up with innovations and local practices or local solutions on how we can address this.
Sustainable solutions are expected to be spearheaded by government. Alas, civil society has taken up the challenge to educate communities on climate change. HEVOS, alongside a consortium of partners, are implementing the Voices for Just Climate Action program. VCA is a 5-year lobby and advocacy program supported by the Dutch government under the Power of Voices framework to scale up Zambia's climate action response targeting vulnerable communities. In Zambia, 10 districts are targeted, among them Luangwa, Rufunsa, Itazitezi, Chongwe, Jigankata, among others.
We chose Luangwa as a district to work from because of the way climate change has impacted on the people and the desire to begin rethinking and co-creating solutions to make the lives of people bearable. For those that have been in Luangwa Fair before, we know that this area is too hot, that the rains have now literally disappeared. They're only coming for a very short period of time. And what we learned from this meeting which we're having today is that some of the farmers here are actually migrating to the neighboring country, Mozambique, to go and farm. In the process, some of them are dying, which is very, very unfortunate. So this basically calls upon us in civil society to really work together with the community, which we're doing now, to co-create some of these local solutions in terms of how people will survive. But also, it's a time that government showed more commitments in terms of funding climate change initiatives in the country. So we migrate from the plan and the rhetoric that we continue to hear into a position where we begin to impact positively on the people of this country, such that they no longer become climate change refugees. The outcomes is for the community through the World Development Committees to come up with bankable projects that can get funding from the CDF. So in our midst today is even representations from the council in Luangwa, we have the National Assembly, and we have the DC present. And we think we have what it takes to co-create interventions that CDF will fund.
One key point is issues of awareness raising. Knowledge levels have increased for most of the people in the community where we are. And so from that perspective, they have started, in fact, they even say that even if we have continued producing charcoal, we are aware that really charcoal production is not good for us. So that kind of awareness is important. And so that's one of the successes, you know, and also them being able to engage their local leadership to say, look, we are in this together, but let's work together to find a solution which is sustainable. This year project is positive, but then you see the challenge has been that some time back they're used to receiving things from other projects, like relief. So moving them from the relief to them sitting down to think, it has taken time, but the reception of the project is great.
Some of the initiatives or solutions they have told us to work with them about has been, for instance, fencing of some farming areas so that they're able to do their farming within there, and that we have done. So we have since fenced 2 areas. One of them is in Kavaramanja, which covers about 355 hectares of land. The other one is in Yapite village near Chief Mpuka's palace, which is covering 514 hectares of land. The idea is that the people do their farming from within the solar fenced wire. So when the wild animals, particularly elephants, come, try to enter and destroy the crop, they get electrocuted and then they bounce back, and they would never come back there. So that is just one of them. The other one has been that Luangwa does well with stock farming, and so we have also been empowering these communities with livestock such as goats, and people have kept those goats, they rear them, and they've been doing okay. The other thing that we have done, of course, has been to encourage these people to also do some little businesses. Yeah, so some of them are engaged into fish trading and small businesses selling in marketplaces and the like. But generally, depending on actual farming, it has been a big challenge here. So as an organization, we're working with these other line ministries to ensure that these people reduce crossing into Mozambique or even going to other districts, but concentrate on their own districts.
The participants of the meetings in Luangwa are hopeful that part of the Constituency Development Fund will be channeled to climate-smart practices to ensure food security, water, energy, health and gender. The program aims to ensure that by the year 2025, local civil society in underrepresented groups who have taken on a central role as creators, facilitators, and advocates of innovative and inclusive climate-smart solutions. Some of the partners in this climate change drive say advocacy is a long-term drive, but positive strides are being made as many people are beginning to respond to the climate agenda.
Matengo aya yasira malasha bantu bakali kutema so apamanje tipanga mndandanda bwino then tapunzira na njira zamene tizasungiramo aya matengo so that mu WDCs mamene tizabwerera tiende tikapunzisane bwino kuti matengo yatu yafunika kuti itengo kuchoka apa kwenda fika kuja itengo tizaisamalira munjira yaso ija mitengo tireke kujuva
vatipunzisa vochi tava kuti kuno ku Luangwa tingaendeko pasogolo chifukwa chakuti ulimi ni wovuta so vamene vatipunzisa tifuna tiyambe tivikonke bwino kuti tipeze phindu so apa tili mumagrupu tichita discuss vamene vingatithandizire kuno ku Luangwa. Ise tasankha mu grupu yathu tasankha kusunga nsomba zofaka pamanzi kupanga chikeji mwaikamo na nsomba mwachifaka muzambezi manzi yakapaka taperekako mu Luangwa muliko manzi yang'ono zikakula nsomba zira tagulisa kuti mwina tingapezeko phindu.
At least a good number of people trying to avoid from using charcoal and firewood by coming up with some simple bread that are so-called mbaula, something like that, whereby they would just build it and try to use some twigs for their cooking. At least it's working out. From what I've learned here is I'll go to the people, tell them in fact they are not advantages, actually they are just disadvantages of not keeping the environment the way we are supposed to keep it, because so often Luangwa they even cut those big trees and use them for canoes, which is making the whole place actually much more dangerous in terms of climate change. Often people get wrong information, thinking that the fish that they find at Luangwa Bridge is the fish that is being fished from Luangwa River or Zambezi itself. That fish really does not come from Luangwa River or Zambezi. It comes all the way deep down in Mozambique. And if you look at the town just behind you, that is Zumbwa, you have to travel about 200 to 300 kilometers from that town, going deep inside into Mozambique to just go and get fish. This is happening like that because of the issue of climate change along Luangwa River.
Going forward as HIVOS, we are targeting through the Voices for Just Climate Action, the CDF fund, to ensure that a percentage of the CDF is actually reserved to fund climate change interventions. And the whole reason of coming with the community to really explain and co-create these ideas, because communities rarely find time to discuss climate change, but they find it easier to handle agriculture issues separately, education desks, medicines in hospitals, but also want to bring to the discussion the issue of climate change and how they can develop the program. So we hope that out of the 4 interventions that are going to be proposed today, CDF actually gets to fund at least 75% of these.
Climate change cuts across many sectors, with developed countries contributing more, while developing countries contributing less, but take up the largest share of effects. Scientific warnings on climate change are available, but the funding towards this sector by respective leaders remains questionable.
Together we fight for just climate action. Together as one, super fantastic and audacious chances.
Let's work together. Let's raise our voices. Climate justice. Let's work together. 'Cause change begins with you. You and me.
Hey.
You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey
wakusiyevenga take chini chalo chatu waino chiononga vane chini chalo chatu nikamba pali crime I feel the impact alubana siya bonga gatubelega in fact isamuhiye so gatuyibambilila muyango tuyo yakouzwa gatuwabilila I believe ane together we can our beautiful country Zambia kuipanga green Kamba zona deep down me I'm bleeding chalo mwechi fela tichi ona air I can't breathe
one step at a time tinga chinje kozi chalo ndiwe naine ngatitijuba then tinga shange tigwilizane pamozi tinga chinje chalo cha chinja onani zuwa njala sisila kulibe mvula pepo simveka tivela chakupya chipunga chavuta yagwa manyumba.
Let's work together. Let's raise our voices. Climate justice. Let's work together. 'Cause change begins with you, you and me. You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey
You and me. You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey take we ain't gotta be careless earth is our home it's only us that can fight this storm it can be Chirundu Lusaka or anywhere else cause it don't really matter where you from firstly we all gotta stop the pollution climate change is a problem with a solution so stop cutting down those trees if you want the future generations to breathe climate change no lie ya chilamo ndisetile tafuti tikapishamo so bonse iseni tubombele pamo na vana bakasele safe tikapyamo
kaunonga ichi chalo we are case ninganja sumwana vamazindise magesi manje why my experiment no chama test magasi vichusi viti dwalisa muchest no monopoly the ground is infected boy monopoly solution hapa manje ni kugwiriza na chape kushangamo mitengo siyo dampa na magape gapongo man.
Let's work together. Let's raise our voices. Climate justice. Let's work together.
Together we fight for just climate action. Together as one, super fantastic and audacious.
Let's work together. Let's raise our voices. Climate justice. Let's work together. 'Cause change begins with you, you and me. You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey
You and me. You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey
wakusiyevenga take chini chalo chatu waino chiononga vane chini chalo chatu nikamba pali crime I feel the impact alubana siya bonga gatubelega in fact isamuhiye so gatuyibambilila muyango tuyo yakouzwa gatuwabilila I believe ane together we can our beautiful country Zambia kuipanga green Kamba zona deep down me I'm bleeding chalo mwechi fela tichi ona air I can't breathe
one step at a time tinga chinje kozi chalo ndiwe naine ngatitijuba then tinga shange tigwilizane pamozi tinga chinje chalo cha chinja onani zuwa njala sisila kulibe mvula pepo simveka tivela chakupya chipunga chavuta yagwa manyumba.
Let's work together. Let's raise our voices. Climate justice. Let's work together. 'Cause change begins with you, you and me. You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey
You and me. You and me.
iseni tuwombele chapamo hey take we ain't gotta be careless careless, Earth is a home. It's only us that can fight this storm. It can be Chirundu, Lusaka, or anywhere else, cause it don't really matter where you're from. Firstly, we all gotta stop the pollution. Climate change is a problem with a solution. So stop cutting down those trees if you want the future generations to breathe. Climate change, no lie ya chilamo. Disetile, tafuti tikapishamo. So bonse iseni tubombele pamo na vana bakasele safe tikapyamo.
Kaunonga ichichalo we are case. Ninganja sumwana bamazindise magesi. Manje why my experiment no chama test. Magasi vichusi viti dwali samu chest. No monopoly. The ground is infected boy monopoly. Solution hapa manje ni kugwiriza na chape. Kushanga mo mitengo siyo dampa na magape.
Let's work together. Let's raise our voices. Climate justice. Let's work together. Cause change begins with you. You and me. You and me.
Iseni tubombele chapamo. Hey. Hey.
DC, due to changing weather patterns, person with albinism suffer from cancer, which is caused by overheating of the sun, So together, let's fight to make this a better place.
I am the earth is me. I am sea, river, mountain, valley, and tree. My voice is an echo of what the ground cries. Deforestation, destruction, devoid due definition. People physically plundering planet. Pilfering practices producing poisonous pollutants. The charcoal cookers chalk continuity. While these sweet, sustainable energy synergies titillate theatrical tender thoughts. Fund, promote, raise awareness for just climate action.
G-Show Records production.